Hey everybody, it's Galmadex, and welcome back to one of the last couple premiere drafts of the Powered Cube this time around. We've got the Strixhaven Early Access event starting on Wednesday. Very pumped for that, but until then, let's see if we can't end off the Arena Powered Cube with a bang in these last couple drafts. Without further ado, let's start off with a very easy pack one. Pick one, you see a Mox, you take a Mox, and see what we get past here. To see what direction we want to go in, we see a bunch of Boros stuff, Adeline, Figure of Destiny, Bone Crusher Giant, and Arid Mesa, and then one card for a bunch of different strategies, one green deck card, artifact deck card, generically decent blue and black spells. I think these Boros cards are quite a bit stronger than any of these kind of filler cards for other decks. Arid Mesa would be the most flexible card to take, as it is a fetch lance that can pull out many different duels and triomes. Our Mox is white, which means it is going to be much stronger if we do end up playing white than anything else. So maybe we just take the strongest white card with Adeline here. Yeah, I think I'm quite likely to end up taking something in Boros anyway, so we'll just take the strong white Boros card, grab the Adeline. Pick 3 now. We got Ugin for artifact and ramp deck top end. We got Narset for non-creature heavy decks. We got Seer and Generous Plunder and Cosmogram Zenith in Boros. And then the rest is just kind of okay. I don't mind taking like Cosmogram Zenith here. Just start with a couple really good white creatures, both of which can produce a bunch of tokens. Just be an entire army off of just one spell. Yeah, we'll just stick to white, grab a Cosmogram Zenith. Pick number 4, Leonardo's pretty okay. 1 mana, 2/1 with a bunch of random bonus abilities if you draw them at the right time. You do want a lot of 1 mana spells to go with Cosmogram Zenith, so a lot of cheap creatures like the Leonardo can help that card out quite a bit. Could also take Teferi, but I mean, just because it's half on color doesn't make it make sense here. I don't really want to go like blue-white, Adeline, Zenith, and Teferi. Could still be okay. I think I just take Leonardo here. Bunch of green here. Green's looking somewhat open, although green is a little bit of a narrow color, so it is usually pretty open. There's a gold span dragon if we want to commit to specifically Boros, but I'm pretty happy to stick to mono white for now. And pick 5, we're doing great on that. They're still getting past plenty of solid white creatures. Ademi, Enduring Innocence, and Flicker Wisp are all great. It is a little bit early to be that concerned about my mana curve, but I don't want to end up with a deck that has like 7 3-mana cards and just not a lot of 2s. So I think I can lean on a Demi here over the 3-mana creatures, because I think they're all relatively comparable. 2 mana, instant speed, 3/2, you can sack it to protect your whole board. Yeah, this does a lot of work for only 2 mana. Like, these other 2 cards are really, really good at 3 mana as well, but I think they're comparable enough that it's fair to take any of the 3s, so I will lean to the 2 mana card. Despite it being pretty early to worry about the curve, Mother Runes is an easy pick, although Sneak Attack's a really, really fun card for decks that are cheating things into play. There's a lot of bigger creatures that have huge enter the battlefield or death triggers. There's a lot of really good ways to build Sneak Attack decks, but not a single card we've taken so far works in a Sneak Attack deck. I suppose Mox Pearl does, but we have enough cards that work really well together and are trying to do the same sort of aggressive game plan that I think it would be weird to pivot to a Sneak Attack here when there's just another card that works great with our just mono white aggro plan in the same pack. Okay, pick 7. Not a ton here. We'll take March of Otherworldly Light. Now we take a Mana Tithe. Umezawa's Jite is slow by modern Magic the Gathering standards. I never got to play with it when it was still in its heyday, but nowadays this card, every time I see my opponent cast it, I'm just not worried at all. I have not seen this card really accomplish much of anything in my experience, so I'm quite low on it in 2026 Cube. Tons of white interaction, Mana Tithe into Reprieve here, and we might be able to pull off the full mono white here. Not even need to be red-white, which would be crazy. I do have 3 pieces of interaction already. We might be able to take Figure of Destiny over Aang's Iceberg. And I think I will. Leveling up is great. Glimmer Lens came back around. Mono white. That would be pretty sick. Have not gotten to do a mono-colored aggro deck yet, and those can be really, really nice because when you're a mono-colored aggro deck, you never have to worry about playing off-curve because you'll always have the correct colors. There are enough powerful cards that cost double white or double red that when you're playing Boros decks, on occasion, you're going to be stuck not playing your Adeline turn 3 because you have 2 mountains and a plains, or you have like a dual land and 2 mountains. But that just will never happen in a monocolor deck, so this could be pretty sweet if it continues the way that it's going. 12 playable cards in the first pack. That would be 36 options to choose from by the end of the draft. More than enough for a monocolor deck. Okay. What? Okay. Double Mox. Not only that, it is the best possible color of Mox that we can open with the way that this draft is right now, because by far the most likely secondary color, if we push into one, is red. Not only that, if we stick mono white, this Mox is better than a colorless Mox because it works with Figure of Destiny, if nothing else. So grab a Mox Ruby and move on. Okay, pack 2, pick 2. We got Cathar Commando, Get Lost. I don't think Leyline Binding makes much sense because we're pretty likely to be monocolored. And even in 2 colors, it's not that good. Fiery Confluence can be pretty good. You can shoot your opponent for 6, but I'm still trying to stick mono white even if I have that Mox Ruby. I think I'm going to grab the Get Lost here. This is one of those removal spells that's really efficient, but it gives your opponent some card advantage back. When you're a really aggressive deck, that's the best spot to leverage that kind of removal because you're just trying to end the game before they dump their whole hand out anyway, so who really cares if they draw an extra land or 2 if you're being aggressive. Smuggler's Copter is really good. Touch the Spirit Realm is also solid. Smuggler's Copter is colorless as well, so more likely to get scooped up. We'll take the Copter. Maybe we can get the touch back. Elspeth Stormslayer is a really excellent finisher, jumping your whole board into the sky. Really, really end games, or just a ton of soldier tokens, or blow up your opponent's best creature. Solitude is really, really, really sweet, though. It's great when you hard cast it, and it gives you that flexibility of being able to cast it for free and at instant speed. So if your opponent cheats something out really early, let's say they manage to do turn 1, like discard a big card, turn 2 animate dead, like turn 1 entomb, turn 2 animate dead, having some kind of like safety button is really, really good because there are decks like that. I'm gonna grab Solitude over Elspeth, but these are both, like, I can't stress this enough, these are probably both in the top 3 white cards. They're really, really, really good. Pick 5, we got an Esper Sentinel, we got a Thalia. Both are great. Thalia actually looks a tiny, tiny bit awkward right now because we have Copter and Glimmer Lens and then all these non-creatures. I'm going to go Esper Sentinel over Thalia. And chances are we even wheel the Thalia anyway. Draven Inspector. Solid little value creature. Pick 7, Agent Bishop just loads the counters up all over the board. Makti and Itla's very sweet. Artifacts and creatures your opponents control enter tapped. So when you're being aggressive and they're trying to stabilize, their blockers entering tapped is really, really rough for them. Gets a bunch of extra damage in early. Oust is a great one against gigantic creatures that were cheated into play early, because then when they redraw them, they won't be able to recast them. Cathar Commando Wield, come on in. It's looking like a really good Cosmogram Zenith deck. We got a lot of ones, and we have 2 Moxes in this deck. No, our first pick in a long time, there's not a white card. Grab a Glorybringer. If there's no white left, we'll just slap a red card into the sideboard. have that option of splashing a bit of red and going Boros. Unexpectedly Absent is another great oust style removal spell where you're putting that card back on top of their deck. They have to redraw it. So if you're like shooting a Krang that they tinkered out, that's going to be a really bad draw for them. I think with Oust and Unexpectedly Absent and Get Lost in Solitude, I can probably cut March out of all those. I want a really high creature count, so I don't think I want more than like 5 non-creatures here. If I can avoid it. Yeah, I think I'm going to drop March. Pack 3, pick 1. Giver of Runes is the on-color card out of the whole pack, so grab Giver of Runes. There's not even a red card in this pack, actually, even if we were Boros. That's a little wild. Okay, no white in this pack at all. 1 Hell Rider. Kind of awkward pulls for this final pack. Not going to play Retrofit or Foundry or Memory Jar or Grim Monolith, so that leaves us with Helix or Hell Rider, which would also probably not play. Here we go. Got a Skyclave Apparition for another creature with a bit of interaction tacked onto it. These are going to be really good picks for this deck because I'm trying to keep that non-creature count low, so some creatures that work as our non-creature spells help a lot. Cards like Solitude, blowing up creatures, Cathartic Mana, blowing up artifacts, enchantments, Skyclave Apparition, blowing up whatever. Really good pickups. Pick number 4, Parallax Wave, is absolutely gnarly. You can get blockers out of the way for a very long time. Pretty easy to like clear out all their blockers for a couple turns, just long enough to kill them. Or really, really good, again, against like big stuff that they cheat into play. If you're playing against somebody, an opponent who has one of those decks that's just trying to cheat one really big card in, then you can just keep that card in exile for like 4 turns, which is tremendously long in your average aggressive game of Magic. Ranger Captain of Eos over Windswept Heath. We can just be all planes and we'll be fine. Pick 6. Yeah, this last pack we're not really getting much, but that's okay because we already have 24 non-land cards, which is perfect. We just throw a bunch of planes in here and the deck's done. But here we are getting more options. We find Leonardo's Sewer Samurai, which honestly I might cut. I guess this is like, we've got a lot of cards we could recast off this. This might be okay. 4 mana is still a little much, but we'll see. Not super into the Nurturing Pixie either. Yep, pack 3 definitely our weakest pack. But we already had a really, really good deck before we went into this pack, and we got a very premium card. We got a Parallax Wave, so. The deck still looks incredible. Oh, I'm really happy to wheel Staff of the Storyteller. Get a little bit of card draw into our deck. Well, am I that happy? How much token production do we have? I guess that's the question. Staff was absolutely absurd in our last Boros deck, but that's because we had like Ocelot Pride and a Johnny as well. Some of the most efficient little cards that are spitting tokens out. This deck doesn't actually look like it has too many tokens. We've got a clue token off 3, but Inspector, I believe that that counts. I don't think Staff the Storyteller cares if it's a creature token or not. Oh, it does care if it's a creature token. Okay. Why does this Oracle text not have token? Or type equipment. There we go. So here's all our creatures. Creature token wise, we have 1 Glimmer Lens. This is not a creature, it's just up here because I put tokens up there. If I just put all my artifacts up top. Yeah, sure. I know Moxes are not creatures, and Smuggler's Copter, fine, close enough, it's a vehicle. Okay. So we have Glimmer Lens that makes a token. Adeline makes token every turn, but that is 2 cards in the entire deck. All right, I'm not going to run the Staff of the Storyteller then. Mana curve wise, I think I want to cut a 3-drop and then maybe a non-creature spell. We do have a slight problem here in that I really like all of my 3-drops. Enduring Innocence or Agent Bishop. Really hard choice. Feel like I should leave a little bit of card draw in here. Make it less likely to run out of gas. Dropping Agent Bishop feels so wrong though. 2+1/+1 counters every combat. Loads up damage really quickly, especially when we have so many 1 and 2 mana cards that we could potentially put a +1/+1 counter on 2 different creatures the turn we play the Agent Bishop. I just leave all my 3s and cut like Leonardo and then a non-creature. This might be kind of crazy, but I'm going to go super creature loaded. Drop these. Like a Nurturing Pixie. It's pretty mid. Okay. We'll just go reasonably creature heavy and cut those 2. That's still 16 creatures plus Glimmer Lens, which is 17 creatures. Smuggler's Copter. Yeah, this looks really strong to me. Excited to see how well this one does. So without further ado, let's hop into the gameplay. All right, here we are on the draw for game 1. Unfortunately, it is the aggro mirror, which means already just by being on the draw, our opponent is favored. But not only that, they also have the turn 1 Mox that we do not. So opponent definitely has the advantage meter in their favor, but we'll see what goes on from here. Playing Esper Sentinel over Leonardo because Figure of Destiny threatens to become a 4/4 this turn, so even if I play the 2 power creature, I can't block it and try to kill it at all. Because then they would just upgrade it and eat my creature without losing theirs. Just the Flage to kill Esper Sentinel. This is a really gross start. They even have the perfect duel, the Plateau. Ran out of Smuggler's Copter here. I don't think I'm get losting the Figure of Destiny this early. It's only a 2/2 right now, 4/4 max, but I doubt they just level it up into a 4/4 unless they don't have more creatures to play. Skyclave Apparition, the Smuggler's Copter. Sure. Is it gonna be worth it to Solitude the Skyclave Apparition here? Solituding the Skyclave Apparition, I'm essentially spending Solitude and Leonardo to kill Apparition and Figure of Destiny. Then I'm just sitting on 1 copy of Get Lost. I mean, Leonardo is a 2/1. Leonardo's not going to trade up into anything otherwise. Giver of Runes is the draw. Cosmogrand Zenith for our opponent. No 1 mana spell, no 1 mana spell. I hate that I don't get priority. Brutal. Yeah, there's no way to stop them from getting that first trigger because they get to have priority first. They're getting really close to Flage now. And we're completely playing off the top. There's their own smuggler's copter. Probably just toss it in the grave for Flage, yeah. Staff of the Storyteller 2. All gas, no brakes. Down to 15. Oust. All brakes, no gas. Pass. Mana Tithe, pass. Far too late in the game to draw Mana Tithe, sadly. Down to 7. Play a mountain. Fiery Confluence us for 6. Yep. Another land, and that'll do it. That is 0-1 heading into game 2. Here we are on the draw again for game 2, so bad luck on those coin flips so far. Got a reasonable start here. Inspector into Copter into a 3-drop. Just hold on to that Mana Tithe later. Our opponent's swamp cycles the Troll of Khazad-dûm. They can grab any swamp, including triomes, and they do grab Zyator's Proving Ground. They've got a Lutri in the companion slot as well, so much later in the game they could copy an instant or sorcery. Here's Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Very good card. Here's Adeline. Here's a crew. Get to say goodbye to our little 1/1 token here. Draw a card, ditch a land. We've got them down to 16. Overlord of the Boiler Bilgies. 4 damage to Adeline. Poke for 2, get a treasure. Pass through Cosmogranzine, this is the draw. I can't double spell right now. We'll just play Agent Bishop. Crew. Load them up. I lied, I can double spell. Shut off the booster tutor. The average card that they can find out of a 15-card cube pack is pretty dang good. So I'm happy to just counter that when I know that they don't have mana for the Tithe, versus if I let it resolve and then they get like a really good 3-mana card or something that I can't mana Tithe. Down to 16. They pass the turn. Hold up our unexpectedly absent. This is 8 damage here. Top deck land. Come on, Smuggler's Copter, give me the land. I guess it wouldn't even be that crazy. I'd have to discard an Enduring Innocence at that point. A Braid. Rude. That happens. That is not a land. Could play Cathar Commando and Unexpectedly Absent. Okay. Orcish Bowmasters. Strong card. Ping my face. Please don't have a Wheel of Fortune in hand somehow. That is not a Wheel of Fortune, it's a Nia. Which hits Sheoldred's Edict. That's actually really good right now. Just make me sack one of these two creatures. I don't even know if I would want to flash in and sack a Cathar Commando, because then won't have that removal for the Overlord. They have such an army of blockers now, though. No Reflection of Kiki-Jiki activation. It's kind of waiting here to try to blank the reflection. If I run out of Cathar Commando, they'll probably try to Reflection the Orcish Bowmasters. And then I counter that with Unexpectedly Absent and block the 2/2 with my 3/1. Let's see. Okay. Do I even take this trade? They're at 7 life. They're at 7 life with 2 blockers up. We're really desperately trying to kill them here. I'll take it. Take the damage, that is. Top deck a 0 or a 1-mana card, and we might be able to get lethal. Well, no, because Sheoldred's Edict, right? I think I have to lose Commando because it's small enough to die to Nia even with an extra counter on it. Did hit a 1-mana card. I think they got us, though, with that edict hit. Because now we don't have the damage to push lethal here, and then they can start reflecting the Overlord. I guess I needed to keep Cathar Commando. It's tough. Put them to 3 life and let them kill Agent Bishop here. I think that's worth it. All right, they also redraw the Bowmasters. They just redo a Bowmasters too. It's better to redo an Overlord than a Bowmasters. I probably did need to disrupt something here. Maybe I should have just Cathar Commandoed the Reflection itself. Because even if I commando the Overlord, they would still have Reflection on Bowmasters. Yeah, it's instant speed, that ability. Just don't think we can get through that combo with either of these two, shredding our board. Yep. Just draw 2-1. We're just locked out. All right, rough one. That'll be 0-2 heading to game 3. 0 for 3. Here we are on the draw again for game number 3. Turn 1 Mother Runes and chill. We're going to hold the Ruby in hand till the turn we need it. That way I have the option of double spelling with it with Zenith, if that ends up being a more advantageous play. Might just turn to Apparition, though. Land here. We can Apparition the Portable Hole, get our thing back. Yeah, we'll do it. Mom's back. There's Grist to get some 1/1s. I can double spell here, so I shall. I'm gonna go wide first. That way if I draw into basically any spell, next turn I double spell and go really crazy. Boop a Grist, so if they want a -2, they have to sack the Grist entirely. Essica's Chariot. They get a couple cats, they got a 4/4 vehicle to crew. Ranger Captain of Eos, perfect. That just straight up draws me into the double spell. Go Figure of Destiny. Really good Cosmogran Zenith stuff. They can crew a 4/4 on blocks, which is annoying. Just attack so we know that Grist is dead and I can use the Mother Runes on the 4/4 area. I guess I could have just done an unblockable swing with Mother instead. My biggest power creature was 3, though. I think Grist was at 4. I could be wrong on that. Quantum Riddler, draw some cards. They are like 5 color over there. Green, red, black, white, and blue. Crew up the Chariot. Send it in to get another token. Draw another double spell. Okay. Macdine it the pre-combat so that I can get lost mid-combat. Okay, flash that in so it doesn't enter tapped yet. Makes sense. That's all free kills now. If I put the +1/+1 counters on the board. And there's the concession from our opponent, because now we're just eating every single blocker that they chose without losing a creature and killing another 1/1. All right, a little bit of a recovery here. The 0-2 start into our first win. We are 1-2 heading into game 4. We've done it. We're on the play for a game of Magic. Giver, Mother, and Figure of Destiny. That's kind of crazy. If I play Giver to protect the Mother. No, I'm just going to play Figure of Destiny. Play something that starts attacking immediately. And then just play both of the runes cards next turn. Oh boy, turn 1 Soul Ring. That's a concern. That's a thing. We hope to Skyclave Apparition that soon. We get board wiped, we get board wiped. And we're on to the next draft. Skyclave Apparition is the play. The way this is worded, even if I Solitude it now, I'll just have my card removed forever with no way to get it back. It's not one of these exile it till it leaves the battlefield cards. Uh-oh. No land. Alright. Smuggler's Copter to set up the draw and discard to try to find what we need. Yikes. Time Warp turn 3 off the Soul Ring. Send in the 2/2. Okay. We'll make them cast something here. There's that land I need. I almost feel like I need to ditch Solitude because it's so far away. But if I can hard cast Solitude, that's going to be huge for me. I'm going to hold on to it. They play their own Solitude. And then Prismatic Ending on our Mother Runes. Okay. Cosmogram Zenith is the draw. Really don't love that they get a 5/5. Oh wait, I can't even exile that anyway. Alright, it's fine to hit the Soul Ring then. That was the plan a century ago. You're technically supposed to always be looting. I should have looted there. There's cards I would draw that it would take over Solitude. Pentap Prism. One card left in their hand. I do not mind our position here, surprisingly. Shall I top deck a Plains and discard a Solitude? Nope. This is so weird, but I'm just going to ditch the Solitude regardless and just drop Thraben Inspector here. They are flooding out. They've got an Eagles of the North for a 3/3. Cute. Find it in a demi. There's the Cosmogrand Zenith land. Take a demi over MacD and Itla. They're playing completely off the top. We've got a huge board now. Hexproof and indestructible, huh? If we had the double spell there pre-combat, we could have sent for lethal, but we drew a sorcery speed card off the copter, so either way, they didn't draw into an out, so we are 2-2 now. Now winning as many games as we have lost. If we can win at least one more game of Magic, we've rallied back from the 0-2 start to at least a 50-50 record. So fingers crossed as we head into game number 5. Here we are on the draw again now for game number 5. This one with a handful of 3-mana cards too. Really want some cheaper stuff here. For a monocolor deck, this hand looks pretty bad. I just sit here till 3. I'm gonna mulligan this. There we go. Now we got some 1-mana stuff to do. I like keeping the Ranger Captain to make up for a little bit of lost card advantage. Perfect. Drawn to the curve with the Glimmer Lens on 2, which can also draw us cards. Deep Cavern Bat. Good old hand disruption. They hit our 2-drop, which makes sense. It is possible that we don't top deck land 3, in which case we're kind of screwed, but that was the same with our opening hand too. Both our 7 and our 6 were 2-landers. Awesome. We have missed our lands, so we're just staring at our opponent and crossing our fingers. They've set up the Malcolm that they can use to now discard some big reanimation targets. Probably what they're doing when we see blue and black and Malcolm in the deck. No, they just discard a fresh start. That's not some kind of big creature, so that's okay. Jace the Mind Sculptor, much less okay. Because now they just get to look at the top card, and every time it's a land, put it on the bottom. Thank God, there's another one anyway. This is really awkward because I want to hit Jace as much as I can, but every creature I hit Jace with is one less protection. If I'm only going to attack with one of the two rune cards, then playing Adeline and Agent Bishop is the same amount of damage. So I think I want to go wider and play Adeline. Because I don't really want to send both creatures at Jace. I want one of them up to protect the Adeline. Or to protect the Agent Bishop. It's Oracle of the Alpha to shuffle the Power 9 into their deck. Oh, and then actual literal Ancestral Recall. Not even from the Conjured package. There's a Mox off of that draw, and a Mox off of that draw. 2 of the 3 draws were Power 9 immediately. And they can Brainstorm. Send in the Flyers. Discard an island. Okay, land 4 is here. Kind of want to start drawing cards, like with Enduring Innocence here. Kill Jace, get a card draw off of the token. That's insane that the ability can still be targeted even if the creature has protection from blue. And then it'll lose protection from... That's ridiculous. That's... Oh my god, man. That feels like a really stupid ruling squirk. That's very frustrating. That my literal protection from blue card can still have its ability countered. We give it protection again because if Tidebinder ever dies, Adeline is still a really big deal. Oh, that's gnarly. They're one Malcolm hit away from just running away with this game because then they just start casting everything they discard for free. Another Mox. Super Shredder. Time Twister. Virtue Persistence. Well. Parallax wave is something. If I want to unexpectedly absent, I don't get to play anything else this turn. Trading a Super Shredder here before he gets any bigger. I think I'm saving Unexpectedly Absent for whatever they're doing off of Malcolm. I've been doing a lot of jacing, though. If they ever find this time walk, there's absolutely no shot, and we're already in a pretty bad position. Scry to the top is a very bad sign. Suppose I could Unexpectedly Absent here. So they don't draw whatever they just put on top, but then they can just jace it with the Brainstorm anyway, so I don't think that's where we're at. Okay, Lockmire doesn't really matter at all. As the Malcolm discard. Stun, give her runes. Draw 3, put 2 back. Ancestral Recall. And that's their natural Ancestral Recall again, not even the Oracle of the Alpha one. Black Lotus. Yeah, Oracle of the Alpha Jace has been really, really sweet, letting them brainstorm each turn to get closer to all the Power 9 and just keep going crazy with it. Force them to hardcast a really expensive card by making the Virtue Persistence unexpectedly absent. I guess Malcolm could cast Virtue for free, technically. Okay, they're at 26. If Tidebinder's gone, Adeline's active again. 1, 2, 3, 4 creatures. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 power. I need to get 16 more damage somehow. That's not happening. So we can't lethal on the crackback or anything here anyway. I don't feel like this is happening however I play it, but maybe ignoring the virtue and just saving the parallax wave for exclusively creatures is the plan. I mean, like, if I hit the virtue, they just Malcolm it anyway. It's actually a pretty sick draw. That was something. Just a tapped Super Shredder. We're still very dead to like Time Walk, but my shot feels slightly more than before. That's really bad. Time Twister or Ancestral here. Ancestral. Okay. Ranger Captain, shut off their non-creature spells. Force them to cast them right now. Cryptic Command. Ew. Tap all my creatures. Bruh. Way to untap or do anything here. No, there's no haste or anything. Dang it. Super Shredder might kill me on the crack back here. Maybe we needed the 1/1 tokens? I mean, again, as has been the case for the last several turns, if they ever draw that Time Walk, we're dead. Because they can Time Walk Storm Chaser's Talent Time Walk. But they've got enough damage on board, just a single Time Walk would kill us already. Multiple removal spells would kill us too. Okay, that is dead to Time Walk, but not dead on board. Ninjutsu probably makes it dead.
This is where things go.
Oh, double ninjutsu. Okay, well, definitely. Bummer. All right. That game ended up being much closer than I thought it would be. We had a really rough start there. The Tidebinder was just brutal. So I thought things were over, but we actually managed to come back pretty well in the end. So not bad, all things considered, for a loss, but maybe if we went wider with the tokens first before the counters, we could have got there, because then the bigger Adeline swing that one turn where we did get that Parallax Wave, I mean, that could have been enough. I don't know. It was a big, complicated board state, and I'm ready to be done with the cube. At this point, my brain has gone to mush after all this cubing, and I'm ready for some bread and butter. Limited Magic, I'm always, or have always been the kind of player that prefers drafting a normal set. I like a couple weeks of cube to liven things up and shake things up, but I'm really into commons and uncommons and finding the best synergies, building the best kind of decks you can out of those. So I'm very ready for Strixhaven. Decent run today, though. Well, I mean, the record was not great at 2 and 3, but I think the deck was decent. It was a decent draft. Would have liked to see it get a little bit of a better record, but still a decently fun deck overall. Not the worst. And we've still got one more cube draft tomorrow to wrap things up. Hopefully with a bit more of a banger then. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching this video. If you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.